The Nintendo Switch 2 is here, and in the world of tech where we're constantly chasing specs, frames per second and next-gen realism, the Switch 2 is just doing something different. In fact, it's doing exactly what Nintendo has always done best. Make the rules and then break them. I mean, let's face it, if this was any other company launching a new console, the headline would be, "Can they compete with the titans of gaming?" But the thing is, Nintendo doesn't play by those rules, and that is exactly why the Switch 2 is both intriguing and unique. But here's the question you might have. Why should you care? And to understand why this matters, we need to talk about performance. That's why. The Switch 2 might not be able to keep up with the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, but it doesn't have to. It's not competing in that race. The custom NVIDIA chipset is an upgrade, offering smoother frame rates, quicker load times, and up to 4K output when docked. If you are hoping for a better battery life, you won't find it here. It's rated for around 6 to 10 hours, which is a slight improvement over the original Switch, but it's still not ideal. The Switch 2's tighter controls and more responsive frame rate promise to make exploring alien landscapes and blasting space pirates even more thrilling. They push the boundaries of imagination and creativity without sacrificing the core gameplay experience. Sure, some games might not reach the dizzying heights of ultra-realism, but they more than make up for it in charm. Accessibility. The vibrant OLED display adds a new layer of immersion, making the game world feel more alive and detailed than ever before. No, not that kind of high, although you do explore new areas. Sure, some games might technically run better on other consoles, but the gameplay experience on the Switch 2 is where it's at. Imagine being able to interact with your favorite characters from Zelda, Mario, and Metroid in the real world. With Amiibo, it's not just a dream, it's a reality. It's like having a piece of the game come to life in front of your eyes. It's interactive, it's engaging, and it's a whole lot of fun. You might think it's a gimmick, but trust me, you'll be hooked in no time. It's hard to resist the charm, creativity, and sheer fun that these games offer. The Switch 2's advanced motion controls and refined frame rate will make navigating whimsical levels and battling quirky enemies even more delightful. Just imagine the colorful chaos as Mario bounces, flips, and power-ups his way through a series of imaginative kingdoms. And your dropping graphics. The Switch 2 stands out because it doesn't care. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses or drowning in a sea of pixels. It's about making games that matter, games that stick with you long after you've put down the controller. It's about creating worlds that you want to explore and characters that you want to become. And let's face it, in a world that's increasingly complex and overwhelming, that matters more than anything else. So yes, the Switch 2 does matter, because in the grand scheme of things, it's not about who has the biggest toy. It's about who can make the best games. And Nintendo, well, they've been doing that for decades. It's pure, playful magic that captures the joy and wonder of the Mario franchise. It's the creativity and freedom that set it apart. Want to glide across the skies with wings? Go for it. Fancy taking a leisurely swim with some fish friends? Be my guest. In Tears of the Kingdom, it's all about exploration and discovery. The Switch 2's enhanced performance and display bring Hyrule to life, making the world feel even more immersive and enchanting than before. The possibilities are endless. You'll probably end up plugging in sooner rather than later, especially if you're playing demanding games like Zelda. Thanks to DLSS, the custom chipset supports a bump up to 108p when undocked, which is nice. And the upcoming WarioWare also look amazing on the Switch 2. These titles blend nostalgia and innovation, breathing new life into classic franchises while staying true to their roots. It's a testament to Nintendo's dedication to pushing the boundaries of what's possible with each new release. But the real flex here is backward compatibility with Switch 1 titles. Your old games look better, load faster, and run more smoothly. So for existing Switch owners, that's a major win. After all, gaming hardware from Sony, Microsoft, and PC rivals has never been more powerful. This is the biggest visual upgrade for me. The colors pop. Blacks are deep and outdoor play actually works now. On the Switch 2, you get the same captivating story, the same rich open world, and the same heart-pounding action. What really makes the Switch to matter is the games. The headlines already sound impressive. Zelda, Echoes of the Depths, Mario Odyssey 2, and a reimagined Pokémon Legends, to name a few. Each title is meticulously designed to take advantage of the Switch's hybrid form and new hardware capabilities. Sure, some games will run better on other consoles, but that's not what Nintendo is aiming for. What they are aiming for is fun, creativity, and a sense of discovery. But the improved frame rates and load times do make things feel snappier and more seamless. Is it the most realistic or visually stunning game out there? No. But that's not the point. It's about delivering an unforgettable adventure. And on that front, the Switch 2 delivers big time. Whether you're exploring Hyrule or drifting in Mario Kart, it looks sharper, smoother, and more premium. It's a far cry from the original Switch's LCD panel. If you've only experienced Nintendo games through the blurry lens of the eShop footage, this alone is worth the upgrade. Now, it is a gorgeous set of visuals that do justice to the stunning art direction of games like Zelda and Metroid. Well, spoiler alert. Yes, it does. But no, it doesn't. But yes, it does. Again. Okay, let me explain. When I first got my hands on the new Switch, I was half expecting to feel disappointed. So let's start with the hardware, because the physical changes are minor but appreciated. At first glance, you might think this is pretty much the same Switch you've known and loved, except maybe a little more refined. And you'd be right. The Switch 2 keeps the hybrid magic alive. Dock it to your TV for couch coupe, or undock it for handheld joy. And the updated form factor is better in almost every way. The bezels are thinner, the screen is bigger and brighter, and it feels sturdier overall. The new Joy-Cons are more comfortable and rounded, and after 3 years of drift issues, they finally feel less like toys. But none of this is revolutionary. Does it wow in the way a brand new console design might? Not really. But that's not Nintendo's style. They've never been about showing off with cutting-edge curves or groundbreaking aesthetics. It's all about the inside. And that brings us to one of the standout features of the Switch 2, the beautiful OLED display. But the real reason the Switch 2 matters is you aren't about wowing you with graphics or blurring the lines between reality and fiction. It's about making sure you have fun. Look, Nintendo has never been about horsepower. It's not about crushing polygons or hitting 4K resolutions. It's about the gameplay experience. But Nintendo games have always been more about clever level design, intuitive controls, and engaging mechanics than raw horsepower. Take Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Speaking of big time, let's talk about the elephant in the room. But let's cut to the chase. Take Metroid Dread, for instance. It's one of my most anticipated games of the year. And here's why. And here's the kicker. Unlike the titans of gaming with their sprawling open worlds and hyper-realistic graphics, Nintendo isn't afraid to experiment. For example, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom takes the beloved franchise to new heights. And then there's Super Mario Odyssey 2, where you'll get to don the iconic red cap once again and embark on a globe-trotting adventure. Let's not forget about the heavy hitters. Games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 HD 2D Remake, Metroid Prime 4. Here's the bottom line. The Switch 2's library is shaping up to be an absolute powerhouse. Plus, there's one feature that I believe will change how we look at gaming forever. That's right, I'm talking about Amiibo. So here's the ultimate verdict. In a world where tech giants are flexing their muscles with mind-boggling specs,